The Siege of 96, when Greene played SimCity and lost to a fort with logs. Alright folks, buckle up because today's story is about General Nathanael Greene's ultimate oops my bad moment during the Siege of 96. It's May 22nd, 1781 in South Carolina, and Greene has decided he's had enough of British outposts. He's looking at 96, a fortified village that sounds more like a karaoke bar than a war zone, and he thinks, this place? Totally ripe for the taking. Spoiler alert, Greene is about to get humbled by some defensive logs and a guy named Cruger. Let's dive into this mess of poor planning, big hopes, and wooden walls. Now, 96 wasn't just a random spot on the map. It was one of the last major British outposts in the South, strategically important because it controlled routes through the Carolina backcountry. The British had fortified it with an impressive star-shaped fort called the Star Fort, because creativity and naming was apparently not their strong suit. Inside the fort, we've got British Commander Lieutenant Colonel John Cruger, a no-nonsense loyalist who's basically holding this place down like it's the Alamo. He's got about 550 soldiers, including a mix of loyalists and mercenaries, and they're ready to turn Greene's ambitions into a punchline. On the other side, Greene rolls up with around 1,000 troops and artillery. His plan? Besiege the fort, starve it out, and finally raise the American flag in victory. Easy peasy, right? Wrong. Greene's got a playbook full of dreams, but no budget for execution. Siege on a shoestring budget, the core events. Day 1 to 10, the slow burn. Greene starts off by digging trenches and setting up artillery because, hey, that's how you siege a fort. But 96 wasn't having any of it. The fort's walls were reinforced with logs, earth, and stubborn loyalists who weren't interested in surrendering anytime soon. Meanwhile, Cruger is sitting inside sipping tea and casually saying, "Come at me, bro." The Americans bring out their artillery to break the walls. But guess what? The cannons might as well be throwing marshmallows. The Star Fort's defenses were absorbing the hits like a sponge, leaving Greene muttering, "Why didn't we invest in bigger cannons?" Day 11 to 20, creative failures. So Greene's like, fine, if I can't blow it up, I'll dig under it. His troops begin constructing a sap, a zigzag trench aimed at getting close enough to plant explosives under the walls. It's basically 18th century Minecraft, but with way more dirt and way less success. Meanwhile, Cruger is counter digging like he's auditioning for Extreme Makeover, 4th edition. He sends out raiding parties to harass the American trenches and destroy their progress. Imagine playing a game of whack-a-mole, except the moles have muskets. Greene then decides, you know what? Let's build a siege tower. His men construct this giant wooden monstrosity to overlook the Star Fort and rain down fire on the British. The result? The loyalists see it, laugh, and promptly set it on fire. Yes, Greene literally built a bonfire for his enemies. Good job, team. Day 30, the final push. By mid-June, Greene's patience is thinner than a slice of prosciutto. He orders an all-out assault on June 18th. His troops charge the fort, hoping to overwhelm the defenders, but Cruger and his men fight back with such ferocity, it's like they've been waiting for this exact moment to flex. The attack fails, leaving Greene to retreat and lick his wounds. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse for Greene, word arrives that British General Lord Rawdon is marching in with reinforcements. Greene's like, nope, I'm out. On June 19th, he abandons the siege, leaving Cruger victorious. But here's the twist. Cruger and Rawdon look around and realize they can't hold 96 long term anyway. So the British evacuate and burn the fort a few weeks later. That's right. The Americans didn't capture it, and the British didn't keep it. Everyone lost, but Greene somehow claimed moral victory. The Siege of 96 wasn't exactly a shining moment for Greene, but it highlighted the growing pressure on British forces in the South. Cruger's victory was hollow, as the British grip on the Carolinas was slipping. For Greene, the siege became a lesson in persistence. You can lose battles and still win the war. So what's the takeaway here? If you're Nathanael Greene, it's probably next time, bring bigger cannons and stop building bonfires for the enemy. If you're John Cruger, it's sometimes holding your ground just means holding out long enough to walk away with dignity. And for us, it's a reminder that even in war, sometimes you gotta laugh at the absurdity of it all. The siege of 96 may not have been a decisive victory, but it sure was a masterclass in how not to siege a fort.